Imagine waking up one morning with brand deals and partnerships, and by the end of the week, it's all gone. That's exactly what happened to Love Island USA Season 7's Huda Mustafa. One live stream, 4 days, and a partnership with one of the biggest beauty brands in the world completely shattered. This isn't just another dating show drama involving Ace, Olandria, Nick, or Olandria, or even Taylor. This is about a moment that exposed everything wrong with how some reality stars handle controversy. And trust me, what went down between Huda, Louis Russell, and Olandria during that October live stream shocked everyone who watched Love Island. The fallout? Even bigger. Cierra from the Villa saw it coming. The Love Island USA community saw it coming. But Huda, she clearly didn't see this one coming.
Real quick before we dive into this mess, if you love reality TV drama served with actual facts and none of the BS, hit that subscribe button. I promise to keep you updated on all the chaos these dating shows provide, because Lord knows Love Island delivers. Plus, you'll need this channel when the reunion episodes drop. All right, let's get into it. For those who aren't familiar, Huda Mustafa became a household name during Love Island USA Season 7. She walked into that Fiji villa looking for love and ended up finishing in 3rd place with Chris Seeley. The season itself was wild. People were shipping Nick Olandria like crazy, watching every move Nick and Olandria made together. Then there was the whole Taylor situation that had viewers glued to their screens every single night. Huda wasn't the main character of the season, but she made her mark. After leaving the villa, she did what most Love Island contestants do. She started building her influencer career, posting content, engaging with fans, and securing brand partnerships. The opportunities were rolling in. She gained a solid following, people loved her style, and brands started noticing. Then she got into a relationship with Louis Russell, who you might recognize from Netflix's Too Hot to Handle. The two became this reality TV power couple, constantly posting together, doing live streams, and building their combined audience base. Everything seemed to be going perfectly for her. Brand deals were coming in, her engagement was high, and she was becoming more than just another face from a dating show. She was building something real, or at least that's what it looked like from the outside. Here's where things get interesting. In early October 2024, Huda Mustafa announced a partnership that seemed like her big break. She teamed up with Huda Beauty, one of the most recognizable beauty brands on the planet. Now, you might think, wait, both named Huda? Yeah, it's confusing. Huda Beauty was founded by Huda Katan, a makeup mogul who built an empire. The connection between them? They share Palestinian heritage, which made the partnership feel even more meaningful. For Huda Mustafa, this was huge. This wasn't just some random clothing brand or energy drink sponsorship. This was Huda Beauty, a brand with millions of followers, sold in major retailers, and respected across the beauty industry. Landing this deal meant she was being taken seriously as an influencer. It validated everything she'd been working towards since leaving Love Island.
She posted about it on her Instagram, talked about how excited she was, and fans celebrated with her. Comments flooded in with support. Other Love Island contestants congratulated her. This was supposed to be her moment. Her career was on an upward trajectory, and nothing could stop her. The irony of sharing a name with the brand's founder made it even more marketable. Headlines practically wrote themselves. But here's the thing about building something up so high. The fall becomes that much more devastating. And Huda Mustafa was about to experience a fall that would happen faster than anyone could have predicted.
October 27th, 2024. Just another Sunday evening. Huda and Louis decided to go live on TikTok, something they'd done plenty of times before. These live streams were casual, interactive, a way to connect with fans and answer questions. They'd take calls from viewers, chat about their lives, and just vibe with their audience. Nothing unusual, nothing that would suggest this particular stream would end up destroying partnerships and making headlines across social media. Then a caller got through. The voice sounded young,
almost like a child, according to people who watched it live. And what came out of that caller's mouth was vile. They directed a slur at Olandria, using the N-word with the hard ending. Not censored, not bleeped, just straight-up hatred coming through the speakers for everyone to hear.
Now here's where it gets messy. In that moment, Huda and Louis both laughed. Not a gasp of shock, not immediate condemnation. Laughter. On camera, in front of thousands of viewers. The clip immediately started circulating. People screen recorded it, posted it on X, shared it across TikTok, put it on Instagram stories. Within hours, the video was everywhere, and people were furious. The comment sections exploded. Love Island fans who had supported Huda were demanding answers. People who followed Olandria from the show were heartbroken and angry. Even casual viewers who had no stake in any of this were calling out how inappropriate and tone-deaf the response was. The outrage wasn't just from one corner of the internet, it was universal. Everyone watching that live stream witnessed the same thing, and nobody can understand why the reaction was laughter instead of immediately shutting it down.
When something goes viral for the wrong reasons, there's usually a playbook. Acknowledge what happened quickly, take full responsibility, apologize sincerely, and commit to doing better. Simple, right? Well, Huda Mustafa decided to throw that playbook out the window. Her first response came via Instagram stories. Instead of a direct apology to Olandria, she went into defense mode. She claimed the laughter was awkward and that they didn't even hear Olandria's name being mentioned during the call. She tried to explain that they were caught off guard and didn't know how to react in the moment. The problem? People had the receipts. The video clearly showed the slur being said, and the laughter that followed wasn't nervous or uncomfortable. It looked genuine. Then Louis Russell jumped in with his own statement. He tried to use his own experiences with discrimination to deflect criticism, saying that as someone who's faced hate, he would never condone that behavior. He claimed the internet was twisting the narrative and taking things out of context. But again, there was video evidence. Context didn't change what people saw and heard.
The responses made everything worse. Instead of taking accountability, they positioned themselves as victims of misinterpretation. They made it about how they were being attacked online rather than addressing the actual harm done. Days went by without a proper apology directed at Olandria herself. No acknowledgement of the pain that word carries. No recognition that someone from their own Love Island season was being targeted with hate. When an apology finally came, it felt hollow. Too little, too late. The damage was done and people could see right through it. The response to the controversy became more controversial than the initial incident. And that's when things started to really crumble. Okay, I need to pause here because this is getting intense. If you're as invested in this mess as I am and you want to make sure you catch every update because trust me, there's more coming, go ahead and subscribe. I'll keep the tea hot and the facts straight. Unlike some people, we actually take accountability here. Now, back to the fallout.
While Huda and Louis were busy defending themselves and playing victim, Olandria took a completely different approach. Her response was everything theirs wasn't. Graceful, powerful, focused on impact rather than herself. She posted a statement on Instagram that immediately resonated with people. She talked about how words carry generations of pain. She didn't attack Huda or Louis personally. She didn't demand apologies or grovel for acknowledgement. Instead, she shifted the conversation to what actually matters. She asked people who were upset to take action beyond just being angry online. Olandria shared links to organizations like the NAACP, the United Negro College Fund, and the Thurgood Marshall College Fund. She encouraged her followers to donate, to support causes that create real change, to turn their outrage into something productive. And you know what? It worked. Over $7,000 was raised in donations within days. People rallied around her, not because she asked for sympathy, but because she showed them how to channel their emotions into purpose.
Her classiness throughout the entire situation highlighted just how poorly Huda and Lewis had handled theirs. While they were making excuses, Olandria was making a difference. Nick, who had become close with Olandria during Love Island, publicly supported her. Other cast members started speaking up. The contrast was stark. One person understood the assignment, and it wasn't the person who needed to. The Love Island community, particularly the Nick Olandria shippers who'd been following both Nick and Olandria since the show, rallied hard. They weren't just upset about what happened, they were inspired by how Olandria chose to respond. She could have gone scorched earth. She could have dragged Huda and Lewis through every social media platform available. Instead, she took the high road and somehow made it look easy.
4 days. That's all it took. From the October 27th live stream to October 31st, when Huda Beauty made their move. And when they dropped the hammer, they didn't hold back. The statement appeared on Huda Beauty's Instagram, and it was clear they weren't here for damage control or waiting to see how things played out. They opened with their values. Kindness and humanity are at the heart of everything they do. Then came the gut punch. They explicitly named Huda Mustafa as a recent collaborator whose behavior didn't align with their brand. They called their actions during the live stream deeply upsetting. They acknowledged that their community and their team were hurt and offended. But here's what made the statement powerful. They didn't just condemn the behavior, they took action. The announcement confirmed they were ending the partnership immediately. Every piece of content featuring Huda Mustafa would be removed from their social media platforms. Even in-store displays were getting scrapped. They were erasing the collaboration completely, like it never existed.
The beauty industry took notice. Huda Beauty is massive, and when a brand that size makes such a definitive statement, it sends a message to every other company considering working with reality TV stars. It showed that accountability matters more than potential sales, that protecting your brand's values is worth more than any influencer partnership. For Huda Mustafa, this was catastrophic. Losing a partnership with Huda Beauty wasn't just about losing money or free products, it was about reputation. Other brands watching the situation now had a clear reason to think twice before reaching out to her. The partnership that was supposed to elevate her career became the very thing that signaled its downfall. And the timing made it sting even more. Halloween! While everyone else was posting costumes and having fun, Huda was watching her biggest brand deal vanish into thin air. The contrast between her excitement announcing the partnership weeks earlier and the public breakup couldn't have been more dramatic.
When drama hits one person from a reality show season, it affects everyone who shared that experience. The Love Island USA Season 7 cast found themselves in an uncomfortable position. Stay silent and risk looking complicit? Speak up and risk getting dragged into the mess. Different islanders chose different approaches. Several cast members came out in support of Olandria. They posted messages of solidarity, shared her fundraising links, and made it clear where they stood. The Nick Olandria fanbase, already protective of both Nick and Olandria, became even more vocal. They flooded comment sections, created supportive content, and refused to let the situation die down quietly. Chelly, another islander who'd experienced hate from certain corners of the fan base during the season, spoke out about similar experiences. She talked about the toxicity that exists in reality TV communities and how some fans feel entitled to spew hatred without consequences. Her statement added another layer to the conversation, showing this wasn't an isolated incident, but part of a larger pattern.
The support for Olandria was overwhelming. Even islanders who hadn't been particularly close to her during filming stepped up. It became less about personal relationships and more about principle. What happened wasn't okay, and people weren't willing to stay quiet about it. But there was also noticeable silence from some quarters. Certain cast members who'd been friendly with Huda during the show said nothing publicly. That silence spoke volumes to fans who were paying attention. People started speculating about who was really down for their castmates when things got difficult versus who was just playing nice for the cameras. The Love Island USA community, which thrives on analyzing every interaction and relationship, turned their attention to tracking who said what and when. Screenshots of likes, comments, and follows became evidence in the court of public opinion. The Love Island dating show that had brought them all together was now the backdrop for a very real conversation about accountability and allyship.
This situation highlighted something important about reality TV in 2024. The rules have changed. You can't just apologize and move on anymore. Social media has given audiences power they've never had before, and brands are paying attention to public sentiment in real time. Think about how different this would have played out 10 years ago. A controversial moment might have been discussed on forums or gossip blogs, but it wouldn't have reached the brand partners so quickly. There would have been time for publicists to craft responses, for the situation to cool down, for everyone to forget and move on. Not anymore. Now, everything is documented. Every live stream can be screen recorded. Every reaction is analyzed frame by frame, and audiences aren't just passive viewers anymore. They're active participants, demanding accountability. When thousands of people are tagging a brand in posts about their sponsored influencer's behavior, that brand has to respond. Staying silent becomes its own statement.
For Love Island contestants and reality stars in general, this changes everything. The exposure from being on these shows is incredible for building a career, but it comes with scrutiny that never really ends. One mistake, one bad moment, one poorly handled controversy can undo everything. And in Huda's case, it wasn't even the initial incident that did the most damage. It was the response afterward. The defensive attitude, the failure to properly apologize, the focus on protecting herself rather than acknowledging harm. Brands doing their due diligence now have to consider more than just follower counts and engagement rates. They need to evaluate how potential partners handle pressure and controversy. Can this person take accountability? Will they protect our brand's values if something goes wrong? Are they going to make a situation worse by trying to defend the indefensible? The speed of Huda Beauty's response set a new standard. 4 days from incident to terminated partnership. That's a clear message to every influencer out there. We are watching, and we won't hesitate to cut ties if you compromise our values. It also sends a message to other brands that sitting on the fence isn't an option when something this clear-cut happens. For future Love Island contestants and reality stars, this serves as a masterclass in what not to do. When controversy hits, respond with genuine accountability. Center the people who were harmed, not yourself. Show through actions, not just words, that you understand the impact. And maybe, just maybe, think twice before laughing at something hateful on a live stream watched by thousands of people. So let's recap this whirlwind. October 27th, a live stream goes horribly wrong. Huda and Louis laugh when someone directs a slur at Olandria. The video goes viral. October 28th and 29th, they issue defensive non-apologies that make things worse. Olandria responds with grace and purpose, raising thousands for important causes. October 31st, exactly 4 days after the live stream, Huda Beauty drops their partnership and scrubs all evidence of the collaboration. 4 days. That's how fast an influencer career can crumble when you mishandle accountability. The lessons here are clear. Authenticity matters. Accountability matters. How you respond to making a mistake matters more than the mistake itself sometimes. Olandria showed everyone how to turn negativity into something meaningful. Huda showed everyone how not to handle a crisis.
As for what happens next, other brands are definitely watching. Huda's career isn't necessarily over, but rebuilding trust after something like this takes serious work, real change, real accountability, not performative apologies designed to save face. And the Love Island USA community, they're not forgetting this anytime soon. Before you go, if you made it this far, you're clearly invested in reality TV drama done right. Subscribe so you don't miss when more chaos inevitably unfolds. Because let's be real, these dating shows are never boring. Drop a comment letting me know your thoughts on this whole situation. Was Huda Beauty right to cut ties so quickly? Could Huda Mustafa recover from this? And most importantly, how did Olandria manage to handle this with such grace? I want to hear from you. Until next time, stay messy, but accountable, friends. Peace out.